Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. I know you most likely know this one, but I have to start by saying that, propaganda is very, very, very important in a war. And symbols are very important in a war. Why? Because you need to keep people together and you have to show them the direction where they have to go more than in a society in peaceful times. Obviously, we have this and works all sides, not only in this case the Russian side, also works the Ukrainian side, the American side, and anyone else. Now, what happened? Since the beginning of the war, if you paid attention, and I hope you did, you will find Zelensky, the president of the Ukrainian nation, portrayed as such. You see? Like this. This is Zelensky. His face has only one expression, like concern and determination. Now, this is a portrayal of your leader, so you feel comfortable, and he's there is not a weasel. Well, let me read the title of this little article that I'm going to discuss today, which is Zelensky will address Swiss Parliament. Ukrainska Pravda. Why do you think he's going to address the Swiss Parliament? Well, I can tell you. Get your checks ready. Now, this is another thing right here. This picture is modeled after this picture. Don't be fools, and I know you aren't because you are here with me. Look here. Since the beginning of the war, this is the facial expression they tried to copy right from here, this one. Now, if you know the historical background of how this was taken, and I urge you to look into it, he had a few drinks before this. According to a historian, and his first name is David. I can't give you the last name because he's very not mainstream. He used to be until he started doing some research in areas that he was not really supposed to, if you know what I mean. Anyway, I mentioned this historian many times because he tells us, he wrote, I think, Churchill's War. I think that's what the book he wrote or something like this. Many people probably did it. It's a very interesting book. Nevertheless, so remember, bang. I'll make it bigger if you have. And you're going to see this face in every little portrait with his hands across the desk like I do because, I'm a weasel too. And this and that. Now, this is Zelensky actually. Okay? Just so you know, from this to this. Like a serious guy. Even the lights are all perfect here. This is a professional thing here. He's got a big PR team that they take care of this, and it should, because it's a serious business here, as Jeb Bush told President Trump in one of their debates. Hey, this is a serious business here. And Trump says yes, yeah, okay. So 1, 2, 3. All right, he's a clown. I'm not saying he should not laugh or should not be funny or anything like that, but this transformation is because they tried to make it like it is a situation. The situation dictates your mood. Well, I think this is what he thinks he is right here inside. He's like, oh my God, I gotta do this again. Jesus Christ. He keeps this little beard and is trimmed. All right? This beard is trimmed. Well, if you wear all these clothes that you show that you are with the public and you don't shave much because you are concerned, the hair is clean and washed. It doesn't mean that you shouldn't have any personal hygiene. But this, anyway, whatever, man, he can do whatever he wants, but I'm just pointing out things. Now, since I said that propaganda and symbols, these kind of images influence people, obviously, I don't like when this guy invites people, leaders, let's put it this way, leaders from other countries that are in between, or they kind of like refuse to give the appropriate support to his war efforts because he fights for you. And he invites them to Kiev, and unfortunately he takes each and every person to the same spot. That's like a theme park. I'm sorry to make this kind of comparison, but that's how I see it. These guys using real crime. It's like I have to come over there, you take me, walk me around the crimes, see what the Russians did, now give me the money. That's how I see it, and I think that's what it is. The problem is a leader, like, I know, leader, you know what I mean, Scholz, or let's say the Czech president, or whomever. Why do they need to come over there and see it for themselves? Do you think they cannot be provided with pictures? No, the whole thing is a gimmick. That's what it is. Now, this guy, Zelensky, is going to go and speak in front of the Swiss parliament. I think those politicians, like everywhere else, but I have expectations a little bit from the Swiss, if you know what I mean. I think they degrade themselves. Why? They invite a guy that the history is not yet settled on who this guy really is. And they make fools of themselves, but they don't care, because they look at the polls. Is Zelensky good to invite here? Well, approval rating? Hey, media, did you make a good job? Yeah, he's approved. Okay, then I will take pictures with him and I will smile with him. Now, if Zelensky would have had a low approval rating in Switzerland, I guarantee you, I'm not guarantee you, but I think they were less inclined to invite these guys and speak. These guys was rolled the red carpet wherever he went by the Western countries in general, right? Yeah, I don't think he went anywhere else. But anyway, why? To make us... Boom. Anyway. Do I hear any crash? Come on. Anyway, so that's how you build legitimacy and authority. By seeing other people with authority accepting this guy in the circle of friends. If you remember that movie with Robert De Niro and... whatever his name is, Ben Stiller, is that what it was? Yeah, I think so. So anyway, let's go back to this article and see how this guy is gonna speak in front of those guys, and the whole purpose for that is to build legitimacy in front of his people, that Switzerland, recognizes me as being, Churchill over there, and I will ask them for money. Oh, where else would you go for money, right? Even Hitler was not able to pull out what this guy is going to be able to succeed. Get them join a side and probably give him money. All right, let's see. This article comes from May 6, 2023. Both chambers of parliament in Switzerland, so see, both of them, which is a militarily neutral state, have allowed President Volodymyr Zelensky to deliver an address expected to be dedicated to the war in Ukraine. Well, I thought he was going to talk about the weather, about the birds and all that. Yes, Swiss Parliament's press service, as reported by European Pravda, details the Ukrainian embassy submitted an official request to the Swiss Federal Assembly, the Parliament, on 3 of May to allow Zelensky to address it via video link. So they did it on 3 May. So when are they going? They grant, let's see when they grant the request. So they requested on the 3rd of May, which is 3 days ago, to allow Zelensky to address it via video link. The Swiss National Council and the Council of State decided to grant the request during a meeting on the 5th. So it was quick, from 3 to 5. It was like urgent matter, because he had to speak. So 2 days for this urgent matter, because nothing else is important in Switzerland. Everything is fixed and nothing should be improved on anything. The video address of the Ukrainian president is expected to take place during the summer session of the Swiss Parliament, and the exact date will be set after consultations with Ukraine, if the Russians don't pull something on this guy. Zelensky will become the first president to address the Swiss Parliament via video link. Why do you think? 28. Why do you think that's so? Because they didn't give a shit about Ukraine before this. That's the reason why. And Ukraine was not around too many years anyway, if you take it that way. Well, 28 guest speakers have addressed the country's legislature since 1970. Among them, the presidents of countries and representatives of international organizations, as well as the ministers of foreign affairs of the president and the state, of the Senate. What they did here? They say, see, Zelensky is in very, very rarefied company to only 28 guests, and all of them are presidents of countries, representatives of international organizations. This is building legitimacy for these guys, important. So again, background, in March 2022, Ukraine's president, that's more likely, delivered a speech via video link to crowd gathered in Bern on the day of solidarity with Ukraine. Oh, all right, good. In particular, he urged Switzerland to take a stronger stance against Russian oligarchs. Like Ukraine doesn't have oligarchs. Again, hypocrisy, but hey, whatever. Earlier this year, Zelensky delivered a speech to members of the Austrian National Council, the lower chamber of the country's parliament. He emphasized that it is impossible to hold a morally neutral stance against evil. Not impossible, because so many people are doing it, so it's not really impossible. That's very doable. A lot of people join evil, so therefore it's not impossible. It's just they choose to do that. You can call them evil as well. You join evil, you are evil. The problem is not always the things are like in the Bible or in religion side. Black and white, or good and evil. There are nuances. Intellectuals know that. And it's just he wants, and besides, it's not only one person who, or two or three or five, that say what's evil and what's not evil. Unless we are free. We are not free, then yes, you decide what's evil and what's not, because you know best, and we are just tards, okay? But if you tell us that, hey, actually you're a free person, free thinker, you can think whatever you want, whatever you think is fine, well, you can say, well, this is evil. If I don't see it evil, what are you going to do about it? Are you going to arrest me? You're going to fire me from my job? You know what I mean? You're going to call me names? Isolate me? So it's not really who says that. Is it a fact? If it's a fact, then let's discuss it. Let's argue about it and find out if it's really evil, and if maybe this one is evil, maybe they're both evil, maybe they have good things and bad things, maybe they have good things and bad things, but saying that's evil and this is, God, Satan. That's it. Got it. And we in between sinners and all that. I don't subscribe to that kind of mentality and ideology. Anyway, why? Because there are nuances, okay? There are nuances. But anyway, whatever you want, my friends. I think that this is just another propaganda stunt, which they all do it. It's not only Zelensky. I picked on Zelensky because it was Zelensky and Switzerland. And if you think about Switzerland, what do you think about Switzerland? At least I think of three things, personally. One, banks. Second, watches. And the third, chocolate. That's all. I like nature. I've been to Switzerland. Beautiful country. Beautiful country. Too expensive though. Beautiful countries. Anyway, thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.